I recently had this realization where it's actually good to hate your life, and I'm gonna tell you why. Being uncomfortable or like straight up unhappy is actually what drives change. I mean, honestly, that's probably why they say you don't learn anything from success. Personally, I think it's just as important to run away from something as it is to be running towards something. And listen, we've all been there, whether it's like we're in a situation we don't want to be in, or we feel like society is kind of telling us what to do or who to be, and it doesn't really vibe. Maybe you're struggling in love, maybe it's business, maybe it's your health, whatever it is, I'm here to tell you that you can change it, you can change your circumstances, and I am here to help. Now, working towards a goal is, of course, a wonderful strategy to live the life you want to live, but it does require a very large commitment to self-discipline. Mastering self-discipline takes years. Honestly, like that is a lifelong commitment. That is a lifelong goal. It's like building a muscle. You don't just become jacked in the gym overnight. This stuff takes time. It takes diligence. It takes practice. It takes failing, although well worth it. And there's absolutely nothing that can replace self-discipline, but something that I think if you're struggling with self-discipline that you could use to kind of like open up your mind or take a different perspective on achieving your goals. If you do hate your life, that anger, that frustration, that like level of uncomfort can actually propel you into a direction that you want to go. So I say, get angry, like get upset. You probably have a lot to be upset about, and it's okay not to feel like 100%. We always see everyone on social media kind of putting up their life and saying how perfect their life is. And of course, we know it's a highlight reel, but I think a lot of times we forget that also. And so if you're unhappy with the situation you're in, I think it's okay to get a little bit angry. There is one caveat to this. If you are getting angry about your situation, you need to channel that energy into something positive, something that is going to help you be productive in whatever that goal is that you want to achieve, living the life that you want to live, whatever it may be. You just need to channel that anger in a good way. Because again, I think it's really important to not only run towards something, but also run away from something, because it's about balance. I think like you need to know what you don't like and what you really want to avoid and identify all the things that you don't want to be, so that when you are faced with that, when you're looking at yourself hard in the mirror, that you can identify that as something you want to push away. And then at the same time, you also need to identify what you want and kind of work towards that. It's crazy. Like everyone's been lied to and nobody wants to talk about it. Every little success that has been dangled in front of us like a carrot that we've just been running to get is actually not fulfilling at all. So if you're feeling unfulfilled in your career, in your life, in your school, in your studies, whatever it is, like you're not alone. People who are 20, people who are 30, 40, 50, 80 years old, like people are still asking themselves, why did I make certain decisions in my life? And oftentimes you are faced with the fact that you were living a life that was not your own. I think younger generations are doing a little bit better of a job of asking that question of like, what do I actually want to do? Especially with the birth of the internet and social media, is kind of like a free-for-all. But I know a lot of people kind of go through this traditional sense of going to school, getting a job, getting married, having kids, and having like the 2 dogs and the yard and the cat and the whole shebang. And it's not necessarily what they wanted to do, because they never asked themselves like, what do I actually like? It's just a matter of what my family wants me to do, or what society wants me to do, or what whoever's important in your life kind of influencing you. I'm guessing that's where the whole midlife crisis thing came about, is you just go through the motions, you're going through all the steps you're supposed to do, and then halfway through your life, you lose your shit because you are not fulfilled, you're not happy, you look around at yourself, you look around at everyone you're surrounding yourself with, and it's no one you ever thought, or it's nothing you ever thought that you wanted. And yet somehow this is where you are. And I hate to say it, but like most people are living a very mediocre life. Now, some people are completely fine with that. Some people, they just want their family and they're genuinely happy with just being around their family, having their kids, living in the same town that their parents lived in and never moving away and having a very like expected, predictable life. And I think if you're happy there, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think this message is more just for the people who are in a situation that they genuinely hate, like they hate their life and they want more, because obviously if you wouldn't necessarily hate it if you were happy, right? So I think it's for people who want more. People who want more can actually use that anger of being in a situation to drive them forward, to drive them out of that situation. Personally, I have almost never made a major change when I was very, very happy and very, very comfortable. And that is the scary thing about comfortability. People and society try to sell you on comfort, but you don't really grow. Like you just don't grow. You don't become a better person. You don't evaluate yourself. You're not going to continue your journey of self-awareness when you are faced with comfortability. Like, why? Nothing's wrong. Everything's easy. And that is the craziest thing about the US. Like everyone is so privileged. You literally have to leave this country. I mean, you don't have to leave this country. There's a lot of poverty here as well, but you can really see it in your face if you go to other countries that aren't as fortunate as the US to kind of realize like, oh wow, we have it really good here and I'm extremely comfortable. Who knew? Looking back at certain times in my professional career where I've been, given constructive criticism. I'm a scientist by trade, and obviously I've worked in corporate America for many years. So there have definitely been times when I've been given constructive criticism. And of course, when a boss gives you feedback, you can take it one of two ways. And most of the time I take it very well. I'm very open-minded, but sometimes things will come out of the blue or they're delivered in a really like brash way that I did not take it super well. And I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe so-and-so said that to me. Like that was so rude or so unexpected. And then down the line, I'll kind of look back on that and realize it's actually such a blessing for people to tell you like it is. And it's a little hard to hear, I guess, from time to time. That is for sure when I have grown the most. That is honest, truthful feedback. And I don't think we do that enough. And I think you can kind of give yourself honest, truthful feedback. You just have to become in tune with your body, in tune with your spirit, in tune with your mind. And we really don't do that enough. We definitely don't suggest it. We definitely don't promote it here at all. But like your body and your mind and your soul will tell you everything you need to know. When you start tuning out the noise around you and you start kind of focusing within, you start listening to your own inner voice, you're going to hear if you're unhappy. You're going to hear if you're uncomfortable. Because I think like there's all these expectations of society of what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to look like, how you're supposed to live your life. And then there's like what actually works for you and what the truth is and what your truth is, right? So when you kind of tune out the noise and tune out society and listen to your heart and your soul, it's going to lead you to a place of truth and of answers, and you're gonna know if something is working for you or not. If you hate your life, that is truly an example of your body, of your mind, of your spirit telling you that something is wrong. Something is not aligning with what your goals are, or something is not working out. Now, sometimes that may mean like, let's talk about your mindset. Let's talk about your negative self-talk, or let's talk about your limiting beliefs. And maybe that's what it's tied to rather than you're in a bad situation. But either way, it's a wonderful way to gauge how you're feeling and what you need to fix in order to move forward. Let's talk about what it means to live your own life, setting goals and having limiting beliefs, because obviously if you are hating your life and you're that miserable, there is something that is prohibiting you from moving forward. Now, 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be, it's you. Like, it's just you. Like, you are the problem, But there's a lot of things that could lead up to what the problem is within you exactly, if that makes sense. I think it's really helpful to get very, very clear on what you want out of your life. Clarity is the key to success, because if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what you want, you're never gonna get there. You're just never gonna get there. It's never gonna happen. There are no magic tricks. There is no one coming to save you. You're on your own, you know what I mean? So, You need to know where you're going. And if you don't know what you like, if you don't know what you want in life, you don't know what it looks like or what you want it to look like, it's okay. There's a very simple exercise that you can do to kind of help you start on that journey. You're going to revise what you want your life to look at like over and over and over again. It's going to change year after year. It's kind of like an ongoing process because ideally you're going to grow every single year, right? You're going to get better. You're going to be better than you were the year before. So you need to get clear on what you want. I would say, think about, the best case scenario. If you could have everything you wanted in the whole world, money was no object, what would your life look like? Who would your friends be? What would you do? How would you make money? How would you spend your time? Would you work? Would you not work? Would you volunteer? What would you wear? Like, what do you look like? What do you drive? Do you have fancy cars? Do you have vintage cars? A moped perhaps, these types of things. Another trick in the book is like you can find role models. And if you find role models that you really look up to, try to think about who they are and what makes them them. And I want you to do this exercise where you really break it down. What makes a person unique that you look up to? Why do you like them? How do they present themselves to the world? Get into the psyche of their identity. True change happens when you have an identity shift. It's very helpful to have a blueprint of your life via a role model and then kind of use that to work towards, right? Like at this stage, we don't need to reinvent the wheel or anything. Figure out where you're going and then model your life after someone you really look up to. There is no reason to do anything from scratch right now. It's just like a lot going on. So we want to make it as simple as possible. Now, when I say true change happens when you have an identity shift, this is what I mean. So let's say you've been smoking cigarettes for the past 5 years and you want to quit. Okay, so that's your mentality, right? Someone comes up to you at a party, they're like, hey, do you want a cigarette? Now, there is a huge mentality difference between if you're saying, well, I'm trying to quit or I'm not a smoker. Do you see the difference, right? If you're saying I'm trying to quit, that's something that's not really going to hold the test of time. Now, if you're saying I'm not a smoker, that is going to the core of your being, your true identity. You're saying I am not a smoker. I don't identify as a smoker. I don't do that anymore, right? So that is part of your identity shift. Same thing if you want to, like, let's say, get in shape, right? You're going to need to be a healthy person. Your identity is going to need to shift to a healthy person. So what you want to do is think like a healthy person. What does someone who's super ripped, super in shape do? I mean, they definitely stay active. They do something active pretty much every day. They probably eat healthy, right? So you got to start thinking like, okay, what can I do? What can I incorporate in my life to change my identity to be the person I want to be? And you might say, well, hey, Gabrielle, I'm not that person. Like, I'm not in shape and I do still smoke cigarettes or whatever. That's fine. Have you ever heard the phrase, fake it till you make it? Because this is a perfect application of that mentality. You need to literally fake it till you make it. You just need to, lie to yourself. Like, what is the harm? What is the harm in saying, I'm a healthy person until you believe it and until you do it? And that is also a really good reason why you should have goals, have clarity about what you want. And if you can swing it, if you're in a place that you're really ready for change, you need to start writing those goals down and writing them down every single day. Now, maybe you're one of those people where you don't have any goals, you don't know what you like, you don't know what you want to do, you don't know what your purpose on this floating rock in the middle of space is. I can also help you with that. So if you're one of those people, here's a little exercise for you. Write down a list of all the things you like to do. It's okay if it's random. It's okay if it's not. Nothing is related to the other. Just write down all the things you want to do. And then on another list, write down all the things you hate doing and that you don't like doing. You're going to look at this list and it's going to help you narrow down or start to focus on the things that you want, right? So you're going to use the anger of who you don't want to be, the things you don't want to do to kind of push that away and repel that past life that you are letting go and moving on from to work towards your new life. You have all these options. So my advice to you is to start learning a little bit more about all the things in the column of things that you want to do. You need to take a risk in life. You need to get your hands dirty. Start doing things you've never done in your life or the things that you find fun and get a little bit more involved. If you like hiking, start hiking every weekend and seeing if that's something that you would like to do full time somehow. If you like, I don't know, maybe you want to be a chef at a Michelin star restaurant. Start cooking, right? Like maybe it's not what you end up doing long term. Maybe it is. It's something that you can incorporate into your daily routine or your weekly routine or your monthly routine to try new things. I want to encourage people to fall in love with learning, fall in love with exploring, do things you've never done before. Everyone's so uptight and it's boring. How are you okay waking up every day, going to work, having dinner, going to watching Netflix, going to bed, and doing it again for 50 years? There is so much more to life. And I'm not saying that you have to be the CEO or president or founder of some major tech company or like Picasso himself. You could find other things that really enrich your life and make you happy. There's absolutely no reason why you should hate your life. And you really, if you do hate your life, you really need to use that to propel you in a direction that is going to change it for the better. Anything you want to do in this world, you can just learn about and figure out how to do. It's okay if you don't even know where to start. There is a plethora of information all over the internet. There's libraries, there's books, there's podcasts. There are literally successful people all over the world that write their stories in a book about how they became successful. There are books on how to do anything. If you want to be successful, read books on success. If you want to be a CEO, read a book about how to be a CEO. No matter what it is that you want to do, just know that I'm here for you. I believe in you. I want to empower you to live the life you want to live. And if this video was meaningful to you in any way, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.